I said yes to this 3-tier wedding cake for 100 people the week of the wedding. I almost didn't take this cake because I already had some larger and more detailed cake orders set for that same weekend, like this tangled cake that I recently posted. I also had this Coco themed cake where the customer wanted a sculpted Miguel figure. One of my regulars requested this surprise engagement heart cake. And finally, I had this 3-tier 50th anniversary cake. It all started with a phone call from my aunt who asked if I was already out shopping for my weekend cake orders. She knows that Tuesdays are my supply shopping days. Then she tells me that one of her old friends messaged her on Facebook asking if her niece still makes cakes because they were in desperate need of a baker. She told her that her friend was getting married that weekend, but the baker overbooked and canceled on them. Then I thought, okay, just because it's a wedding doesn't mean that it's going to be huge. Sometimes customers just want something small for a private event. So I had her ask how many servings she needed, and when she said 90 to 100, I thought, okay, well, let's see the design. And you can imagine my heart dropped when I saw the inspiration picture that she sent. I thought about it really hard for a few minutes and then ultimately gave her a price for what she was requesting and let her know that if she wanted to order this, the full amount would have to be paid within the hour. She paid that in less than 2 minutes. I added all of her supplies and ingredients to my shopping list. She did pay for delivery and she was my last order of the weekend, so Saturday evening, here's how I made her cake. I started out by frosting all 3 tiers in white buttercream. And just like the inspiration picture, I left those top edges instead of scraping it and smoothing it down. Then I added this sculpted white cross to the center of the middle tier. Now it was time to add the floral. It was really hard finding all white floral where it had not a hint of pink or green or any type of green floral around it. But I was really happy with the ones that I ended up finding. I added these all white leaves towards the top and then I add some white orchids. Their only request or change from the inspiration picture was to add a topper that said Mr. and Mrs. Olivas, which I thought was a sign to take the order because that's my last name. They wanted this in black and I cut this using my Cricut because of course it wouldn't have got here in time if I custom ordered this. I placed it on top and then finally for the last detail I add those ruffled bottom pieces, which I'm so upset I did not hit record, but here's what they look like. And now this wedding cake is all done. I get my husband to box it up and load it up for delivery. And here's the final picture of the cake once it was set up. And right before I was heading out, the groom stopped me to personally thank me for making their cake on their special day on such short notice. I'm really glad I took their order. I hope you guys like this one.